the fight on social media goes on. People are still looking at this whole situation with physical and digital games, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to continue to push their message. The physical side of the spectrum are continuously jumping on PlayStation with every post that they put out, and the people that are, I can say, pro digital are just clowning the guys on the physical side. Now, for me, I want physical to stay around. I don't want them to go away, but I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. I still buy games digital, and I love buying games digital. But this is something really interesting about this whole situation. There's some stats, there's some data out there. I don't know how true it is, but nevertheless, we're going to look at it. That only 7 games on the PlayStation platform has sold over 100,000 units on the PS5 this year. Now that's not really good. When you looking at the physical forever crowd, they're not looking like they're stand up people right now, because not only that this is going on, but there's other things that's going on as far as attacking indie devs. But I'm not going there. But they're not looking good right now. You know what standing on business is, is a noble thing, and that hopefully they'll stick with that. But I want to look at this article right here once again. Day one, Playday.one, which is Day One, which is a article website where they talk about news. They put this up. Shout out to John Clark, and gave my thoughts and opinions on this. So let's look at this. Despite the outcry from gamers following Sony's decision to end physical discs for PlayStation games from January 2028, it seems like the data makes Sony position on the matter pretty understandable, as just 7 games have sold more than 100,000 physical units on PlayStation 5 in the US this year. And like I said, that doesn't look really good, because the people who want a physical forever and want physical games available, this is the type of numbers they have to go up against, because like I said, it's just not looking good with these numbers. It makes Sony look like they're kind of justified at making things all digital. Last month, Sony shared the news in a small blog post. Yeah, they did that, saying that they're going to do all digital, whatever the case may be. There's been plenty of outcry about the decision, with a number of petitions demanding it being reversed. However, data certainly makes Sony's decision understandable, even if the majority of passionate gamers, us included, which is Playday.one, don't agree with it. Now, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with it either. I want you to have a choice. I want you to have those physical games out there as well as digital. It keeps a balance as far as pricing, and for somebody like me who like to pick up, physical games. These are the type of things I really enjoy doing. So, yeah, that going by the wayside is, it does kind of suck. But like I said, once again, I'm gonna be totally transparent with you guys. Prior to this announcement, I did a video saying that I was going to probably go all digital anyway with the PS6. So even before I knew about this news coming out, I kind of had my mind already made up. Circana's Matt Piscatella revealed some additional data that he posted on Blue Sky, and this is basically the data that we're talking about here. You can see on the screen right here. He said 2 PlayStation video games have sold more than 10K physical units during the week in the U.S. during the week ending July 11, 2026. Only 10K. That's wild. 7 have sold more than 100K physical units year to date. I don't know how true this is. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's right or whatever, but this is kind of insane if this is the case. I mean, you're probably looking at a situation where these games are selling like 90 to 1. I mean, well, not 90 to 1, but 9 to 1 when it comes to physical versus digital. I mean, that's a lot of numbers, right? I mean, big disparity. So that's what he said there. This is certainly paints a grim picture for physical media landscape for video games, at least in the United States, and will make any hope for a reverse course seem vanishing small. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go back. I don't think they're going to reverse this. I think they're going to stick with this because of what's going on here, and it is what it is. They also say if you are angry about the decision, let them know in the comments or whatever. And yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can sound off wherever and let people know how you really feel, because like I said, at the end of the day, this is what we're up against. I mean, they feel like they're not making enough money on that side of the spectrum to continue with physical games, and it is what it is. Now, for me, like I said, I want physical always available. I'm physical forever, all day long. But I do also understand, like, if you're being outsold 8 to 1, 9 to 1, and I know there's other numbers out there saying it's like more 6 to 4 and 7 to 3. Like 70-30, 60-40. I've seen those out there. But at the same time, when you look at numbers like this, it does make you scratch your head a little bit. Now, also, what I really want to hone in on is consumer rights. This is not about necessarily saying, hey, we just want physical and that's it. Consumer rights should be the forefront of all of this. I'm probably going to make another video about this when it comes to consumer rights. You need to get in touch with your legislator or your senator or any lawmaker that you can get a hold of, and you need to make this push that consumer rights should be to the forefront. For you to actually have these digital products and not have them taken away from you, that is the bigger issue. Not just having, a physical game. Now, like, look, listen, I love my physical games. I just did a pickup video and I got all these games down here on the floor. I got all these games behind me, these PS4, PS5 games. And I have games on this side of the room. I have a lot of games here. I do love going to the game store and picking up games. But at the end of the day, mostly I pick up these games because I don't want these games taken away from me because of some licensing issue. And I know people out here saying like, "Oh, they never did that before." Well, ask the people about what they're doing at Crunchyroll and what Sony has done with 500 movies. Don't think it can happen to you. Don't wait till something happens and then say, "Hey, we need to talk to our legislator." No, this is something that needs to be to the forefront. And the most important thing is you need to get this consumer right thing to the forefront. I don't know what type of laws need to be passed, but I do 100% believe that this is somewhat illegal, if not 100% illegal, that we are dealing with people buying products and they're taken away from us and they're not being refunded or reimbursed or made whole. This is something that has to stop. This is, quite frankly, it's pretty ridiculous that it's happening to the people in the movie industry and and everything under the case of that umbrella. That needs to change. So we can talk and fuss and argue on X and Blue Sky or Facebook all you want about these digital, physical, and people are losers and they're hoarders or whatever the case may be. You can say whatever you want about the situation of people who pick up these games. But at the end of the day, the real thing is ownership. Because when something happened to somebody who loves all the digital games that have been pointing the finger at the physical guys, when something happens and they lose their digital games or whatever, now all of a sudden there's a problem. Don't wait till it's a problem. This is what these people are elected officials for. Let your voice be heard and let people know what what you want done as far as your consumer rights. You paid your money. You paid your hard-earned money for these type of products, and they should not be taken away from you. But another thing I will say, and I'm going to get up out of here for real this time, the biggest problem with that is a lot of people have attention spans of a goldfish. Soon as they finish a game, they forget about it. 5 seconds after the credits roll on a game that they completed, they forget about it. They act like they don't know nothing about the game and they're on to the next one. So when that game does go away, they don't even have time, don't even remember what they played. Because people constantly want to play, and don't think about your ownership that you're paying money for. But that's a whole different issue as far as money, value, and keeping the things that you bought. That's a whole nother issue. I don't want to go there. But talk to your legislator. Talk to the people that is really in the forefront that can make change, to make Sony do something that they don't want to do. They don't want to give up these licenses. They want to take your games away from you. And if they see it fit. And this is something that needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. No matter what you feel about the physical and digital stuff, ownership is the main issue here. But I'm going to get out of here because I can ramble about this all day. I will be making more videos down the line. Hopefully you guys check out all the content. Also, I'm back on my VF Sports channel making videos over there as well. Hopefully you can check that out. Talking football and everything under the umbrella. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.